How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading when the price is going up or down. U.S. government sells $250 million and sees Silk Road Bitcoin, plans to dump another $1.1 billion. The crypto markets may be looking uncertain right now, but some are still making money from Bitcoin sales. The U.S. government. According to court documents filed today, the Fed sold the crypto earlier this month, making over $215 million. The crypto in question came from the Silk Road marketplace. Hacker James Zhang confessed to stealing it, then the cops took in a historic seizure back in November. They are now selling it, and they have 41,490 Bitcoin worth about $1.1 billion to get rid of, according to the filing. On March 14, 2023, the government sold 9,861 and some change Bitcoin for a total of $215.7 million. After about $250,000 in transaction fees, the net proceeds were about $215.5 million. So they made quite a bit off the Silk Road seizure, with the authorities planning to get rid of the remaining Bitcoin through 2023 in 4 different batches. What kind of effect might that have on the price of the biggest digital asset amid a brutal bear market? I can tell you that $1.1 billion in selling pressure could probably help that gap fill. Stopping ChatGPT development is a bad idea, Coinbase CEO. While some prominent voices in the tech industry are calling for a temporary pause in ChatGPT's upgrades, the CEO of America's largest crypto exchange, Coinbase, made it clear that he opposes this move. Brian Armstrong says that there are no experts to adjudicate this issue, and many disparate actors will never agree. Committees and bureaucracy won't solve anything. Armstrong's comments came shortly after a publication of an open letter calling for a 6-month moratorium on developing AI, more powerful than GPT-4, the last iteration of ChatGPT, which was an AI chatbot created by OpenAI. The letter, signed by Twitter chief Elon Musk, Apple co-founder Steve Wozniak, and Andrew Yang, among more than 1,700 other signees, claimed that AI systems with human competitive intelligence can pose profound risks to society and humanity. It also argued that the focus of AI research and development should be on making existing systems more accurate, safe, interoperable, transparent, robust, aligned, trustworthy, and loyal. The Coinbase chief, however, disagrees, saying that, as with many technologies, there are dangers, but we shouldn't keep marching forward with progress because the good outweighs the bad. He says, don't ever let fear stop progress, and be wary of anyone trying to capture control in some central authority. So tell me what your opinion in the comment of this is down below. While AI systems have been receiving increased attention in recent months, their growing popularity also sparked concerns, including ethical questions around the role of machines in human communication and decision-making, as well as the potential impact on employment and social inequality. The Center for AI and Digital Policy filed a formal complaint with the U.S. FTC on Thursday, in which it accused OpenAI of violating a Section 5 of the FTC Act that targets deceptive and unfair practices. So they're saying that the way ChatGPT is advertising their AI is deceptive, and they're going after them for it. Our DAO's dead. Judge ruling in BZX case spells trouble, legal experts say. Federal judge in Pasadena, California, earlier this week denies a series of motions attempting to excuse members of BZX DAO from liability in a novel class action lawsuit filed against the decentralized autonomous organization. The ruling means the court has found that simply owning a token could create a legal liability for holders, sending shockwaves through the crypto community as traders, investors, and other enthusiasts grapple with the potential implications. While the ruling did not definitively find members of the BZX DAO liable for any wrongdoing, a judgment still forthcoming, the industry experts framed the move as an unexpected escalation of hostility against DAOs, which aim to leverage blockchain networks to create a decentralized alternative to traditional company structuring. It means that they feel that there is some grounds for the case that DeFi app with a DAO structure could extend legal liability to anyone who holds the token in certain circumstances, and that argument merits more discussion in court, prominent crypto investor Adam Cochran tweeted. But is there a reason to panic? Are DAOs now dead? Can anyone holding a government's token be liable if the token's corresponding DAO is sued? The answer, like most things in crypto, is not quite so simple, but not quite optimistic. Attorney Jeremy S. Goldman, who specializes in blockchain technology litigation, says that the decision crystallizes the fact that we don't live in a decentralized world. DAOs challenge traditional business structures and our legal system, and that's what you're seeing, potentially an inherent incompatibility of those two ideas. The Commodity Futures Trading Commission similarly found that membership in the BZX DAO, defined by ownership of tokens and participation in government's votes, could expose individuals to legal liability when it fined the DAO founders $250,000 for allegedly illegally offering retail commodity transactions. Judge Burns therefore found BZX, even in DAO form, to constitute a valid general partnership, meaning the token is holding membership is personally liable for lawsuits against the organization under U.S. law. BZX appeared to him as a company in DAO's clothing. As an organization attempting to offer financial products in the United States, BZX has found it can't have its cake and eat it too, refusing to register as an LLC, the oldest trick in the book for avoiding personal liability in American business, while also engaging in profit-based digital commodity transactions, inevitably led to a situation where DAO members were exposed to an unnecessary amount of legal liability, according to Goldman, who is the lawyer in this article. A DAO could still token-gate its membership, distribute voting power via tokens, and take blockchain-verified votes on governance proposals, while also registering with federal authorities in a manner that would prevent potential legal liability if ever sued. Legal scholars have previously outlined numerous ways in which DAOs could safely navigate the American legal system, so hopefully they do start following these pathways. Over on the... that's the 4 hour. Sorry about that. 4 hour, we have a rising triangle. We'll get to that. On the daily, our momentum is making lower highs, even though price is making higher highs. So we have a very slight bearish divergence there. Our money flow is back around the 6 zone on the daily. Not very strong, but is heading up after taking that dip. Our VWAP is kind of curling down though, so medium term is heading down even though we pushed up today. Our RSI is kind of flat, and our stochastic's trying to gain some strength, so it might give the RSI a little bit of push up if we can continue this movement. Over on the 4 hour, I wouldn't call this an ascending triangle yet. I had it mapped out based on how this candle was going. Depending on how it closes, we may bring this down further, and that could change our breakout point, being that far down. Sorry, just trying to clean this up real quick. But being that far down would take us to about 29, just under 30k area, right around that 30k area for a breakout. But if you look, this orange line here on our volume profile, we are keep getting rejected in this area. We did peak above it with 2 candles, but then wound up ultimately failing to hold that area. So that is a very strong resistance area for the top of this volume profile right now. If we start getting candles above it and start getting some volume up in this area, then that'd be a bullish sign that this movement could sustain. But we do still have that lower time gap on the CME futures, so don't forget about that. Excuse me, as all gaps typically fill. Our RSI is pretty flat on the 4 hour. Stochastic's somewhat starting to curl out. Momentum's making lower highs and starting to curl out. And our VWAP's gone kind of flat. Money flow is pretty flat as well. Trying to get a little bit of a peak up right now. But with that money flow and VWAP kind of curling, we might see that fail. Over on the 2 hour, getting those lower highs, even though we're trying to head up with price. Our money flow is pretty flat here, just above that 9 zone. We really can't seem to hold above 10 and stay above that on Bitcoin. Our momentum's trying to head up, but it's somewhat starting to curl out here, so I'd be wary of that curl. Our RSI is kind of heading flat, but our stochastic's heading up, so our RSI does have strength. We just need it to get some life. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is making lower highs, so that is a little bit cautionary, as our price is somewhat making higher highs. Sorry. Why did you take me to Twitter? I wanted to close. So price is making higher highs, even though our stochastic is making lower highs. So that's a slight bearish divergence that we're setting up on the 1 hour. Our momentum is trying to come up, but we also have that bearish divergence on our RSI. So our RSI is also heading down, even though stochastic's trying to head up. So we could start to weaken here. In the last few hours, ever since our update this morning, money flow has been losing. So money flow's been coming out since this morning's update on Twitter and Instagram. VWAP's kind of rolling over, so we could break bearish here. So I'd watch out. If that VWAP breaks bearish and that money flow continues to head down, then it's likely we may not get that volume that we need to add above that high value node. So over on graph, not going to look at the futures because there's nothing too exciting there. Looks very similar to Bitcoin right now. Our stochastic's heading up. RSI is falling though. Our VWAP's kind of rolling here. Our money flow, it got a couple of touches lately, and we are trying to make a bounce. So we are trying to move up away from that neutral zone, but we keep revisiting that neutral zone, and we keep revisiting the support resistance line we had. Our momentum's kind of starting to curl here, so that could be indicative of a move down with that VWAP curling and the RSI sliding. Over on the 4 hour, the last few candles, we've got 3 rejections here ever since back last night. We've gotten 3 rejections. Our momentum's making lower highs and starting to kind of round off. VWAP's starting to kind of round off, so this money flow may make an aggressive breakdown. RSI is kind of rounding out. Our stochastic's heading up. So our RSI has strength, but it's starting to lose. So that's a little worrisome. Over on the 2 hour, we have bearish cross, but it looks like we could kind of flatten out for our stochastic. Very indecisive looking right now. Our RSI is trying to roll over, but it'll be dependent on how this cross plays out. Our momentum wave's trying to roll over. VWAP's overall coming down. Our money flow did break bearish, came back up, retested, tried to make some bullish movement, and then fell back under again. So overall, we're looking pretty bearish. Over on the 1 hour, money flows well into the bearish zone at about 7, where Bitcoin's sticking in the bullish zone on the daily. Our stochastic's kind of flattening out, and our RSI is starting to slide a little bit, and our momentum's starting to flatten out as well. And that VWAP is just barely holding its ground above the neutral zone. So overall, we're looking like we could kind of reject downwards here. So that might break our hopes for any bullish breakout of this pattern. Over on the daily, we tried to break through this high value area on our local area and kind of tried to smash through every area today for anchor. So we're way all over the place. We are trying to close above that point of control, so we could try and see this wick fill and make another move up, but that's going to be dependent on how these other coins move. And Anchor took a real good move today, 8%, while everything's like barely 2%. Stochastic's heading up, RSI is heading up, VWAP's heading up strong, money flow's coming a little bit green, but I'd be a little cautionary because Bitcoin looks like it could lose money flow, but it could also roll into altcoins. Stochastic's kind of curling up, but looks like it might roll over, so I'd watch it very closely over the next few days and see if that straightens out. The 4 hour, stochastic has a bearish divergence as we had a lower high on our stochastic and price made a higher high. Momentum is starting to roll over, VWAP's about to break the neutral zone, and our money flow is getting real close to testing that neutral zone as well. So we have a lot of bearish signs here on the 4 hour. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic is starting to fall. RSI is trying to curl up though, and our stochastic could try to make a bullish cross. So if that does happen, then our RSI might gain some more ground. But our momentum wave is curling after getting a red dot, and our money flow is very weak after crossing above that bearish zone and rejecting a bearish cross. So we may get another test. VWAP is trying to head up, so our medium term's trying to run counter to our money flow. We'll have to see how everything goes, as it's kind of just resetting and flattening out right now. Over on the 1 hour, don't think that 2 hour VWAP will do too good if this 1 hour rolls over here. But we are getting a green dot that could print, so that could give us some more momentum upwards. We'll kind of have to watch the next few candles. Money flow is trying to cross bearish, so I would watch out for that. So overall, we got some mixed signals. Our VWAP wants to say, and momentum wants to say we're bullish, and our stochastic and our RSI are trying to head up as well. But our money flow is getting real close to that bearish break. So if we do see that bearish break, I would be cautionary and watch for a bullish break if you want to make some moves. Over on XRP, don't know why it didn't change. We're kind of flagging out right now. We're getting red dots on our momentum and our stochastic. Our stochastic could make a bearish cross here. Momentum could start to roll over here. Our RSI is trying to head up. Money flow's kind of going up and down. Doesn't know where it wants to go. And our VWAP did break bearish. So overall, we're looking pretty bearish here if all these signals confirm. Over on the 4 hour, our RSI is trying to make a slight curl up. Our stochastic's trying to curl up too. But our momentum wave is making lower highs. So that is starting to get real weak. We do have a green dot though, so that could help push us up. We'll have to kind of watch what happens. Money flow was coming down, but it's starting to flatten out, so we'll have to see if it can start to curl back up. Our VWAP is trying to head up as well. So over on the 2 hour, this looks more like a descending triangle here, as we've got a descending slope and a flat bottom. Our RSI is starting to lose ground. Stochastic's trying to head up. Money flow's overall coming out. RSI is starting to roll. Our VWAP's starting to roll over. Momentum's starting to roll over here as well. So overall, we're looking like we could start a rollover here. We're getting a reversal arrow. So that's basically signaling something's going to happen. I don't really trust these reversal arrows for too much move on their own. And the 1 hour money flows well into the bearish zone. So VWAP is about to make a bearish cross. Our momentum wave wants to make a bearish cross and could get a red dot print soon. Our stochastic is making a bearish cross and heading down. And our RSI is starting to slide. So overall, the 1 hour is looking pretty bearish here for XRP. Last but not least, for algo, we didn't really go anywhere today. Our stochastic's trying to make a run up. Our RSI is kind of flat. VWAP's coming down. Our money flow's trying to cross bullish, but we didn't really move, so it didn't really go much farther than last night. And our momentum wave looks like we could start to roll over here if we don't get some more momentum on that money flow. On the 4 hour, money flow is starting to round down, so that is concerning. VWAP is rounding down. Our stochastic's trying to make a bullish cross though, and RSI is trying to head up on these last few candles. So we are trying to recover, and our momentum's trying to kind of curl up. So we'll have to see if that money flow can follow suit, and hopefully that VWAP take like a dip and then just kind of flop back up. Over on the 2 hour, we tried to break bearish on our VWAP, but we rejected and we're coming up. But money flow overall is coming down and pretty stagnant the last few candles. Momentum's starting to roll over and round out, so that is pretty concerning there. Our stochastic could try to make a bullish cross, and our RSI is trying to head up, so we could try to push off from here, but that momentum and VWAP are looking very weak to me. Over on the 1 hour, money flow is very weak. Looks like we could break bearish soon. Our momentum is making lower highs even though price is just flat, so that's a slight bearish divergence. Our VWAP looks like it could start to roll over. Stochastic's very weak and our RSI is making lower highs as well. So overall we look pretty weak here. So I wouldn't bet too much for much more continual push unless we get some more surprise momentum on the coins. Overall, we do have that lower gap on the futures, and eventually all gaps tend to fill, and we're starting to lose momentum, so it's likely we could see that gap fill sooner than later. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.